October 15th, 1968. The Cessna O-2A Skymaster banks low over the dense jungle of Quang Tin Province, its twin engines humming as Captain William Sundog Matthews searches the green canopy below for signs of downed American aircrew. His radio crackles with multiple distress calls. Another day in the life of a forward air controller has become a desperate race against time to coordinate rescue operations across South Vietnam. Sundog, this is Crown Control. We have multiple aircraft down in your sector. How copy? Matthews keys his microphone. Crown. Sundog copies. I count 3 separate emergency beacons. Starting my search pattern now. What unfolds over the next 8 hours will become one of the most intensive rescue coordination efforts of the Vietnam War. By the end of the day, Captain Matthews and his Oscar Deuce will have orchestrated 12 separate rescue operations, saving dozens of American lives and proving that sometimes the smallest aircraft can have the biggest impact on a war. The Cessna O-2A Skymaster was an unlikely war machine. Born from the civilian Cessna 337 Super Skymaster, this twin-engine aircraft featured an unusual push-me, pull-you configuration with one engine in the nose and another in the rear fuselage. The design provided centerline thrust and excellent single-engine performance, critical advantages when operating over enemy territory. Introduced to Vietnam in 1967, the O-2A served as a forward air controller aircraft with the 20th Tactical Air Support Squadron. The military modifications were extensive: armored seats, self-sealing fuel tanks, stronger landing gear, observation windows, and wing pylons for carrying smoke rockets, flares, and light ordnance. 3 radio systems replaced the rear passenger seats, giving FAC pilots the communication capability to coordinate complex air operations. But the O-2's greatest weapon wasn't its rockets or guns, it was its endurance. The aircraft could loiter over a target area for hours, something jet fighters couldn't do. This persistence made it perfect for the patient work of coordinating search and rescue operations in the most dangerous airspace in the world. Captain William Matthews was no ordinary pilot. A former airline pilot from Texas, he had volunteered for military service when the Vietnam War escalated. At 34, he was older than most combat pilots, but his civilian flying experience made him invaluable as a forward air controller. He understood weather, navigation, and emergency procedures better than pilots half his age. Matthews had earned the call sign Sundog for his ability to operate in marginal weather conditions when other aircraft were grounded. His patience and methodical approach to problem-solving made him the ideal pilot for search and rescue coordination, work that demanded precision, persistence, and the ability to manage multiple operations simultaneously. The morning of October 15th began routinely enough. Matthews and his observer, Staff Sergeant Robert Chen, took off from Da Nang Air Base at 0600 hours for what was supposed to be a standard reconnaissance patrol over Quang Tin Province. The area was known for heavy enemy activity, but intelligence reports suggested only light ground fire. That assessment proved catastrophically wrong. By 0800 hours, Matthews had received his first distress call. An F-4 Phantom conducting a bombing mission had been hit by a surface-to-air missile and gone down approximately 15 miles southwest of his position. Both crew members had ejected and were on the ground in enemy territory. Sundog, this is Falcon Lead. We have 2 souls on the ground. Coordinates follow. Area is heavily defended. Repeat, heavily defended. Matthews copied the coordinates and immediately began coordinating the rescue effort. He contacted the Rescue Coordination Center at Da Nang, requested a search and rescue package, and began his approach to the crash site to establish contact with the downed airmen. As his O-2 approached the area, enemy ground fire erupted from multiple positions. Tracer rounds streaked past his aircraft as he searched for the survivor's position. The North Vietnamese knew that shooting down one aircraft often brought others into range. Rescue operations were high-priority targets. Falcon 01, Falcon 02, this is Sundog on guard frequency. If you can hear me, key your survival radio twice. 2 distinct radio clicks confirmed that both F-4 crew members were alive and had working survival radios. Matthews began the delicate process of determining their exact locations without revealing their positions to enemy forces monitoring the frequencies. Using coded references to landmarks visible from the air, Matthews established that the pilot and radar operator had landed approximately 500 yards apart in thick jungle. Both reported enemy soldiers searching the area. Time was running short. Matthews called in a helicopter rescue package, two HH-3 Jolly Green Giants escorted by A-1 Sky Raiders for suppressive fire. But as the rescue force approached, his radio erupted with another emergency call. Sundog, Sundog, this is Blue Jay lead. We have an A-4 down, pilot ejected safely. Grid coordinates 77 Alpha Mike 5. How copy? A second rescue operation, 12 miles from the first. Matthews now had 3 downed airmen in 2 separate locations, with rescue helicopters already committed to the first mission. He had to make a rapid decision about priorities and resource allocation. Chen, plot both positions and calculate flight time between them. Matthews called to his observer. I need to know if I can coordinate both rescues simultaneously. The answer was barely possible. The 2 crash sites were close enough that Matthews could orbit between them, but it would require split-second timing and perfect communication with multiple rescue elements. Matthews made the call. He would coordinate both operations simultaneously. As the first Jolly Green Giant approached the F-4 crash site, Matthews guided it to a landing zone he had identified from his aerial reconnaissance. A-1 Sky Raiders strafed enemy positions with their 20mm cannons while the helicopter attempted to reach the downed pilot. Jolly Green 6-7, come left 30 degrees. I have muzzle flashes at your 2 o'clock. Sandy flight, put your ordnance on the tree line. Grid 7-6, Charlie Papa 4. While monitoring the first rescue, Matthews flew to the second crash site and began coordinating with a second helicopter package. The A-4 pilot was in a more exposed position, but the area appeared to have lighter enemy defenses. Jolly Green 7-2, your survivor is in a small clearing approximately 200 yards north of the burning wreckage. Be advised, smoke is marking his position for enemy forces as well. By 1,000 hours, both rescue operations had successfully recovered their survivors, but Matthews' day was far from over. His radio frequency had become the central coordination point for search and rescue operations across Quang Tin Province. The third emergency came at 10:15 hours. A Marine CH-46 helicopter carrying wounded soldiers had been forced down by mechanical failure in a valley controlled by North Vietnamese forces. 8 wounded Marines and 4 crew members were trapped on the ground with no immediate rescue capability. Matthews diverted to the CH-46 crash site and began coordinating what would become the most complex rescue operation of the day. The helicopter had landed in a valley surrounded by enemy positions, making a direct rescue approach impossible. Ground Control, Sundog. I need immediate air support at grid 82 Delta Foxtrot 7. Multiple wounded. Enemy forces closing on position. Request fast movers and additional rescue package. For the next 4 hours, Matthews orchestrated a continuous stream of airstrikes to keep enemy forces away from the downed helicopter while coordinating the evacuation of wounded Marines. F-4 Phantoms, A-4 Skyhawks, and A-1 Sky Raiders took turns attacking enemy positions under Matthews' direction. Gunfighter 2-3, adjust fire 50 meters north. Enemy troops moving through the tree line. SPAD 7-1, I need immediate suppression on the ridge line. Survivor evacuation in progress. While managing the CH-46 rescue, Matthews received his 4th emergency call. An O-1 Bird Dog FAC aircraft had been shot down near the Laotian border. The pilot was alive but injured, and enemy forces were converging on his position. Now Matthews was coordinating 4 separate rescue operations across a 50-mile area. His O-2 became a flying command post, orbiting between crash sites, directing airstrikes, and managing helicopter rescue operations. The 5th through 8th rescues came in rapid succession between 1,400 and 1,600 hours. An F-105 Thunderchief pilot ejected after being hit by anti-aircraft fire over the Ho Chi Minh Trail. 2 A-1 Sky Raider pilots were forced down during a close air support mission. A helicopter crew survived the crash of their UH-1 after being hit by an RPG. Each rescue presented unique challenges. The F-105 pilot had landed in an area swarming with enemy anti-aircraft guns. The Skyraider pilots were separated by several miles in territory patrolled by NVA regulars. The UH-1 crew was trapped in a rice paddy surrounded by enemy forces. Matthews' methodical approach to each situation became legendary among rescue crews. He would establish communication with survivors, determine their exact positions, assess enemy threats, coordinate air support, and guide rescue helicopters to safe landing zones or hover points. Survivor, this is Sundog. I need you to move 50 meters east to the edge of the tree line. There's a small clearing where Jolly Green can get you. Do not expose yourself until I give the word. His ability to remain calm under extreme pressure earned the trust of both survivors and rescue crews. Pilots knew that if Sundog was coordinating their rescue, they had the best possible chance of survival. The 9th and 10th rescues occurred simultaneously at 16:30 hours, when two F-4 Phantoms from the same flight were shot down by SAMs near the DMZ. Both aircraft went down within a mile of each other, creating a concentrated rescue scenario in heavily defended territory. Matthews coordinated a massive rescue package: 4 helicopters, 8 A-1 Skyraiders, 4 F-4s for top cover, and an EB-66 electronic warfare aircraft to jam enemy radars. The operation required precise timing to overwhelm enemy defenses and extract all 4 crew members before reinforcements arrived. All rescue elements, this is Sundog. Execute alpha pattern in 30 seconds. SPAD flight, hit the SAM site at grid 89 Mike Papa 3. Jolly Green flight, approach from the southeast. Survivors will pop smoke on my mark. The coordinated attack succeeded brilliantly. All 4 F-4 crew members were recovered within 20 minutes, though both rescue helicopters sustained battle damage from ground fire. Rescues 11 and 12 came as the sun was setting on what had been the longest day of Matthews' military career. An A-4 Skyhawk pilot ejected over Hugh Province after suffering engine failure. Minutes later, an O-2 FAC aircraft similar to Matthews' own was hit by ground fire and crashed near Quang Tin. Operating in deteriorating weather and fading daylight, Matthews coordinated his final 2 rescues of the day. The A-4 pilot was recovered quickly from a secure area, but the O-2 crew presented a more complex challenge. The FAC aircraft had crashed in a valley known for heavy enemy activity. Both crew members were injured, and enemy forces were already searching the crash site. Matthews had to coordinate a night rescue operation using helicopters equipped with night vision systems and flare-dropping aircraft for illumination. Firefly 2-1, drop flares on my mark. Jolly Green 8-3, your approach is from the west. Survivors are in a cluster of rocks approximately 100 meters from the burning aircraft. By 2,000 hours, all 12 rescue operations had been completed successfully. Captain Matthews and his O-2 Skymaster had spent 14 hours continuously coordinating search and rescue missions across South Vietnam. Dozens of American aircrew members owed their lives to his skill and persistence. The impact of Matthews' achievement extended far beyond the immediate rescues. His success demonstrated the critical importance of forward air controllers in combat search and rescue operations. The O-2's endurance and communications capability made it the perfect platform for coordinating complex multi-aircraft missions. More importantly, Matthews proved that rescue coordination was as much about human factors as technical capability. His calm demeanor, clear communication, and methodical approach gave confidence to both survivors and rescue crews operating under extreme stress. For his actions on October 15, 1968, Captain Matthews was awarded the Distinguished Flying Cross. The citation read, "Captain Matthews displayed exceptional courage, skill, and dedication in coordinating 12 separate rescue operations under heavy enemy fire. His actions directly resulted in the successful recovery of dozens of American personnel and exemplified the finest traditions of the United States Air Force." The O-2 Skymaster continued to serve with distinction throughout the Vietnam War, proving that civilian aircraft could be adapted for military missions requiring endurance and reliability. FAC pilots flying the Oscar Deuce coordinated thousands of rescue operations, saving countless lives in the process. When the war ended, many O-2s found new life in civilian roles. The California Department of Forestry acquired 20 former military aircraft and used them for firefighting operations for more than 20 years. The aircraft's reliability and endurance made it as valuable in civilian service as it had been in combat. The story of Captain Matthews and his 12 rescues became legend among forward air controller units. It demonstrated that in warfare, success often depends not on the biggest guns or fastest aircraft, but on the skill and dedication of individual aircrew members operating the right equipment at the right time. The sound of an O-2's twin engines became known as the sound of hope to downed airmen throughout Vietnam. For dozens of American aircrew members on October 15, 1968, that sound meant the difference between capture and freedom, between death and life, delivered by a pilot who refused to give up until everyone came home.